Hello and welcome to Current News. My name is Neel. In this special segment, we will discuss news which is important from the perspective of your exam. The bulletin of the last whole week, which might echo in your question paper in the examination hall. Let's begin with the headlines. The Olga Tellis Judgment is in headlines once again after anti-encroachment action in Delhi. Supreme Court had held that people living on pavements are not trespassers. The Apex Court had also held that ousting people living on pavements is unconstitutional. Tamil Nadu Legislative Assembly passes bills on the appointment of Vice-Chancellors. After these bills, the state government can appoint VCs in the state universities. The government aims at eliminating governors' role in appointing Vice-Chancellors. India included in the country of particular concern category in USCIRF report. As per the report, the situation of religious freedom in India is extremely worrying. UAPA and new anti-conversion laws have also been criticized in the report. According to CWC, water level in major reservoirs of India is decreasing continuously. Reservoirs being monitored recorded a 2 to 3% drop in water level per week. Water level is decreasing due to insufficient rainfall and increase in evaporation rate. NITI Aayog releases draft battery swapping policy. The draft policy includes several suggestions for electric vehicles. Government think tank aims at promoting electric vehicles in India. Now let's begin with news of the week. The Olga Tellis judgment is once again making headlines after the recent Supreme Court verdict on the anti-encroachment drive in Jahangirpuri, New Delhi. It is likely to play a cardinal role in the upcoming Supreme Court verdicts regarding encroachment drives. The Apex Court had held in the Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation case 1985 that pavement dwellers are different from trespassers. The Supreme Court reasoned that eviction using unreasonable force was unconstitutional. It was also a violation of their right to livelihood. Pavement dwellers too have a right to life and dignity. The right to life included the right to livelihood. It would be worth mentioning that in 1981, the state of Maharashtra and the Bombay Municipal Corporation decided that pavement and some slum dwellers in Bombay city should be evicted. Some demolitions were carried out before the case was brought to Bombay High Court, and finally it was taken up in the Supreme Court. Imperative issues like provisions allowing the removal of encroachments without prior notice and eviction of pavement dwellers amounting to deprivation of their livelihood were deliberated upon in the Supreme Court. The Apex Court rejected the state government's argument of estoppel in this case. Estoppel is a kind of judicial instrument using which a person can be prohibited from claiming his or her rights. Estoppel can bar a person from claiming that the hut built by him or her on the pavement cannot be demolished because of his or her right to livelihood. The court had rejected the argument of estoppel, stating that there can be no estoppel against the Constitution. The court held that the right of life of pavement dwellers was at stake. The right to livelihood was an integral component of right to life. They could approach the court to assert their right. Moreover, a person can be deprived of his or her right to livelihood only by procedures established by law. The court also stated that the provisions in the law allowing statutory authorities to remove encroachments without prior notice were designed to operate as an exception. It also observed that the affected persons should be given a chance to express themselves. Finally, the court emphatically objected to authorities treating pavement dwellers as mere trespassers. The Tamil Nadu Assembly has recently passed two bills regarding the process of appointment of Vice-Chancellors in state universities. These bills empower the state government to appoint Vice-Chancellors in 13 state universities. The Governor of Tamil Nadu is the Chancellor of these 13 universities. Until now, the appointment of Vice-Chancellors in these universities has been the Governor's prerogative. For the appointment of Vice-Chancellors, a search panel is constituted by the Governor. One of the three persons recommended by this search panel is appointed by the Governor as the Vice-Chancellor. However, the recently introduced bills transfer the right of appointing the Vice-Chancellors to the state government. It should be noted that these two bills are the Tamil Nadu Universities Laws Amendment Act 2022 and Chennai University Amendment Act 2022. The expression Chancellor, used for appointing and removing Vice-Chancellors in the original Act, has been substituted with Government through these two bills. Once the new laws get implemented, the state government will have full authority to appoint Vice-Chancellors in 13 universities of Tamil Nadu, and the Governor will not have any role in the appointment of Vice-Chancellors. It is worth mentioning that the University Act of states like Gujarat and Telangana also confer powers upon the state governments to appoint Vice-Chancellors. On the other hand, Vice-Chancellors are appointed by Chancellor or the Governor with the state government's concurrence under the Karnataka State University Act 2000. The central government has recently announced amendments to the Defence Acquisition Procedure 2020. These amendments have been made after the approval of Defence Acquisition Council. It is aimed at fulfilling the goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India in the defence sector. It also aims at removing the obstacles in ease of doing business. It is worth mentioning that the Defence Acquisition Council was established in 2001. It ensures speedy procurement of approved arms requirements of the armed forces. The Defence Minister is the chairman of the Defence Acquisition Council. This council is the apex decision-making body on defence acquisition-related matters. After the amendment, all modernization requirements of the defence services and Indian Coast Guard are to be indigenously sourced. However, imports of defence equipments and its supply from foreign industry can still be done on an exceptional basis. For procuring arms from abroad, the approval of the Defence Acquisition Council and the Defence Minister must be sought. Apart from this, the requirement of integrity-packed bank guarantee has been dispensed with. It has been replaced with earnest money deposit as collateral for all necessary acquisition above 100 crore rupees. Integrity-packed bank guarantee is a binding agreement on transparency between the bidders and government departments on all procurement schemes above 20 crore rupees. Besides, the Ministry of Defence has also decided to reduce the time taken for contracting projects related to IDEX. IDEX program was launched in 2018. It aims at promoting innovation and technology development in the defense and aerospace sectors. USCIRF, that is the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, has recently published its annual report. It has recommended that India be designated as a country of particular concern, that is CPC. CPC, or country of particular concern, is a country whose government either engages in or tolerates particularly severe violations of religious freedom. Countries that do less serious violations of religious freedom are put in the special watch list. For 2022, based on religious freedom conditions in 2021, 15 countries have been recommended for the CPC designation. Besides India, Pakistan, China, Afghanistan, and other countries have been recommended for country of particular concern list. Apart from this, the use of Unlawful Activities Prevention Act and creation of hurdles against the licensure and receipt of international funding by religious and charitable NGOs have also been castigated. The report also criticized the spate of fresh anti-conversion legislations in India. However, India has negated all such indictments. USCIRF was established under the International Religious Freedom Act 1998. This act requires the USCIRF to annually identify countries that merit country of particular concern designation. It is an independent, bipartisan, advisory and consultative body. This organization monitors religious freedom violations globally. It also makes policy recommendations to the President, the Secretary of State, and the US Parliament. However, the recommendations of USCIRF are not binding. Recently, Raisina Dialogue was organized in New Delhi. Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission President, visited India to attend the dialogue. Also, a summit was held between India and the European Union during this dialogue. India and the European Union agreed to establish a Trade and Technology Council at this summit. It is worth mentioning that the European Commission is one of the premier institutions of the European Union. At present, Ursula von der Leyen is the President of the European Commission. As the President of the European Commission, this has been her maiden visit to India. It must be noted that the European Union has established first Trade and Technology Council with the US. Hence, it will be the second one for the EU with India. On the other hand, the decision to set up such a council will be first for India with any of its partners. Both the sides agreed that amid rapid changes in the geopolitical environment, the Trade and Technology Council will act as a strategic coordination mechanism. Also, it will provide the political steer and the necessary structure to operationalize political decisions. Besides, the Council will also aid in addressing the challenges related to trade, trusted technology, and security. A cardinal point to be noted is that European Union is the third largest trading partner of India, and the trade between European Union and India was worth $95 billion in 2020. Apart from this, negotiations are going on between European Union and India regarding the free trade agreement. Against this backdrop, this Council will also resolve the challenges obstructing free trade and investment between European Union and India. Post a long hiatus, the central government will be resuming the All India Household Consumer Expenditure Survey in July 2022. The last consumer expenditure survey was conducted in 2017-18. However, the government junked the findings of this survey, citing data quality issues. Consumer expenditure survey reflects the expenditure pattern at the level of household, goods and services in the urban and rural areas of India. It also aids in estimating the household monthly per capita consumer expenditure and the distribution of households and persons over these categories. The All India Household Consumer Expenditure Survey is conducted every 5 years by the NSO, that is National Statistical Office. The survey is likely to be completed by 2023. The results will include separate data sets for rural and urban parts of the country. Besides, results will also provide spending patterns for each state and union territory as well as different socio-economic groups. India hasn't had any official estimates on per capita household spending since 2011. However, such data are available to review economic indicators like gross domestic product. In such a scenario, the data obtained from this survey will aid in estimating and reviewing the level of poverty in different parts of India. Indonesia, the largest producer, exporter and consumer of palm oil, has banned the export of same recently. It is worth mentioning that Indonesia has taken this decision to reduce the domestic shortage of cooking oil and stabilize its skyrocketing prices. This announcement came amid already surging global food prices as the consequence of ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. The prices of all major edible oils, including palm oil, soya oil, sunflower oil and rapeseed oil, are likely to rise due to Indonesia's palm oil export ban. Also, the ban could put an additional financial burden on consumers in Asia and Africa, which are already affected by rising fuel and food prices. Palm oil is the most widely used vegetable oil in the world. It is used as a cooking oil. It is also used for making cosmetics, processed foods, cakes, chocolates, soaps, shampoos and biofuels, etc. It must be noted that palm oil is inexpensive than other vegetable oils and produces more oil per hectare than other vegetable oils. However, palm oil prices have shot up significantly in the whole world due to short supplies of other alternative vegetable oils, pandemic-induced global food inflation, and the Ukrainian crisis. Indonesia ranks first in the total global palm oil production, while Malaysia is the second largest palm oil producer in the world. These two countries together account for almost 90% of the global palm oil production. Indonesia is responsible for 60% of the global supply of palm oil. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, India is the largest importer of palm oil, and India imports half of its annual palm oil needs from Indonesia. In such a scenario, India is also likely to be hugely affected by the Indonesia's palm oil export ban. The data collected by CWC, that is Central Water Commission, suggests that the water level in the major reservoirs of India has been continuously dipping. The water storage level in 140 major reservoirs monitored by CWC has registered a decline of 2 to 3% per week. The water holding capacity of these reservoirs shrank from 50% to 39% between March 17, 2022 and April 21, 2022. According to a bulletin released by the CWC, water storage available in these reservoirs was 69 billion cubic meters on April 21, 2022. However, the total water holding capacity of all these reservoirs is around 176 billion cubic meters. Moreover, the 9 major reservoirs in the northern region of India have the lowest water storage level. Besides, out of the 45 reservoirs with hydropower benefit, at least 32 have below 50% storage. According to CWC, much water is lost due to evaporation as the summer peaks, resulting in a dip in water levels. Consequently, there is a decline in the water levels of the reservoirs. This raises concerns about meeting the daily water needs of cities as well as of summer crops harvested by May-June. Also, the depleting water levels might pose a challenge in meeting the peak electricity demand, as 45 out of these 140 reservoirs are being used for hydropower generation. Apart from this, low water storage due to delayed monsoon arrival or inadequate rainfall can affect the upcoming Kharif sowing season. A research conducted by researchers at Stanford University has been published in the journal Nature Communications. The research suggests availability of water on one of the Jupiter's moons, Europa. Researchers believe that there may be an abundance of water pockets beneath double ridges formations on Europa's surface. According to researchers, double ridges are formed over shallow pockets of water. These formations are most common on Europa's surface and are similar to those seen on Earth's Greenland ice sheet. Moreover, the presence of shallow water pockets beneath Europa's double ridge formations increase the potential habitability of the moon. It is worth mentioning that the M-shaped crest in Greenland is known as double ridge formation. Europa is one of the moons of Jupiter. It is slightly smaller than Earth's moon and its diameter is about 1/4 of that of Earth. Even though Europa has a very thin oxygen atmosphere, it is considered one of the most promising places in the solar system suitable for life beyond the Earth. Besides, scientists also believe that underneath Europa's icy surface, the amount of water is twice that on Earth. NASA is expected to launch its Europa Clipper mission in 2024 for studying Europa. In this mission, a module will orbit Jupiter in solar system and conduct multiple close flybys to Europa to gather data on Moon's atmosphere, surface, and its interior. The Government of India's think tank NITI Aayog recently released the draft battery swapping policy for expediting large-scale adoption of electric vehicles. This draft policy is targeted at electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers. The stakeholder comments on the policy have been invited till June 5, 2022. The Government of India has announced the battery swapping policy in the budget speech of 2022-23. Battery swapping is a mechanism that involves exchanging discharged batteries for charged ones. This provides the flexibility to charge these batteries separately by delinking charging. The policy proposes to offer some incentives to electric vehicles with swappable batteries. These include subsidies to firm manufacturing swappable batteries, technical and testing requirements, and reduction of GST, etc. As per the current GST regime, the tax rates on lithium-ion batteries and electric vehicle supply equipment are 18% and 5% respectively. The draft policy suggests that the GST Council may consider reducing the differential across these two tax rates. The policy also proposes that the incentives offered under the existing or new schemes for electric vehicles purchase can be made available to electric vehicles with swappable batteries. Moreover, the size of the incentive would be determined based on the kWh rating of the battery and compatible electric vehicle. The policy also requires state governments to ensure public battery charging stations are eligible for electric vehicle power connections with concessional tariffs. Besides, transport departments and state transport authorities will be responsible for easing registration processes for vehicles sold without batteries or for vehicles with battery swapping functionality. The policy also proposes to assign a unique identification number to swappable batteries at the manufacturing stage to help track and monitor them. The Aayog has proposed that all metropolitan cities with a population of more than 40 lakh will be prioritized for the development of battery swapping networks under the first phase. This will be done within 1 to 2 years of the draft policy getting finalized. The Bureau of Energy Efficiency under the Ministry of Power will be the nodal agency responsible for rollout of electric vehicle public charging infrastructure in the country. The Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has recently launched the IDEX Prime, that is, Innovations for Defence Excellence Prime, and the 6th Defence India Startup Challenge during the DEF Connect 2.0 program held in New Delhi. Government of India had launched the IDEX program in 2018. It primarily aims at creating an ecosystem for fostering innovation and technology development in defence and aerospace in India. Under this, grants are given to MSMEs, startups, individual innovators, research and development institutes, and academia for creating product and services for India defence and aerospace needs. The IDEX Prime has been launched for projects requiring support beyond Rs 1.5 crores up to Rs 10 crores to help ever-growing startups in the defence sector. It is funded by the Defence Innovation Organization. The 6th Defence India Startup Challenge was also initiated with 38 problem statements in the IDEX program. The problem statements relate to artificial intelligence, advanced imaging, sensor systems, big data analytics, autonomous unmanned systems, and secured communication. Disc 6 witnessed the participation of newly formed 7 defence companies, Indian Coast Guard, and organizations under Ministry of Home Affairs for the first time. Disc program was organized by the Ministry of Defence for the first time in 2018. It was started in collaboration with the Atal Innovation Mission. It is aimed at supporting startups and MSMEs for facilitating national defense and security. DefConnect 2.0 is a one-day event. DefConnect 2.0 has been described as a symbol of India's growing technological prowess and a celebration of continuous growth of Indian defense startup ecosystem. The Supreme Court of India has recently directed the Telangana government to conduct field verification of ration cards that were cancelled by the state government without prior notice. In addition, the court also directed the state to file an affidavit about the steps taken by it in this regard prior to cancelling the ration cards. It is worth mentioning that the apex court's directions have come during the hearing of an appeal filed against the Telangana High Court's order. Telangana's High Court had refused to entertain a bill challenging the cancellation of ration cards. Hence, an appeal was filed in the Supreme Court challenging the Telangana High Court's order. During this appeal, it was submitted by the appellant's counsel that no notice was issued to the ration card beneficiaries before cancelling the ration cards, and about 22 lakh ration cards were cancelled in Telangana on grounds of some computer algorithms. It was also stated that one of the major grounds on which the ration cards were cancelled was the non-linking of Aadhaar with the ration cards. The Supreme Court in Puttaswamy versus Union of India case had held that Aadhaar is not mandatory for availing such benefits. Moreover, the central government's notification on ration cards provides for ground verification before cancelling the ration card. However, no field verification was done by the state government before cancelling the ration cards. However, the state government argued that the ration cards were cancelled in view of central government's notification and it had followed the prescribed procedures before cancelling the ration cards. Besides, the state government also stated that 23 lakh new ration cards have also been issued in Telangana, and the new card holders also include those persons whose ration cards were cancelled previously. Let us now look at 5 questions based on the bulletin.
Questions for this series are: first question is, consider the following statements. 1. Defence Acquisition Council was established in 2011. 2. This council is the apex decision-making body on defence acquisition process related matters. Which of the above statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Consumer expenditure survey shows the expenditure pattern on household goods and services in urban and rural areas of India. 2. All India Household Consumer Expenditure Survey is conducted every 10 years by the National Statistics Office. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Malaysia ranks first and Indonesia ranks second in terms of global palm oil production. 2. India imports half of its annual palm oil requirements from Malaysia. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. Next question is, consider the following statements. 1. Jupiter is the planet with the largest number of satellites in the solar system. 2. European Space Agency is planning to launch the Europa Clipper mission to study Jupiter's moon Europa. Which of the above statement or statements is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. Last question is, consider the following statements. 1. Innovation for Defence Excellence Program, that is IDEX, was launched by the Government of India in 2020. 2. It is aimed at creating a favorable environment for promoting innovation and development of technology in the defense and aerospace sectors. Which of the above statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2?
So for the time being, that's all in this bulletin. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe Drishti IAS Hindi, English and PCS YouTube channels. At the end, let us have a look at few more events of the last week in other news.
Recently, GI tag has been demanded for 3 products, namely Puliana Kudi, acid lime, Thuyamali rice and Virudhunagar Sambha Vathal chilli from Tamil Nadu. Puliyankudi village in Tamil Nadu is famous for acid lime cultivation and the lemon grown in this area weighs about 50 grams. Thuyamali rice is cultivated during Samba season. Thuyamali rice is rich in protein, iron, magnesium and zinc etc. Chilies grown in Sattur, Virudhunagar and Vilathikulam regions are called Virudhunagar Sambha Vathal chilies, which are red in color and are 6 to 6.5 cm long. Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region is organizing Northeast Festival in all the 8 northeastern states from 28th April to 4th May 2022. The 7-day festival is being organized as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The festival aims at showcasing the achievements of Northeastern region with the spirit of Hum Kisi Se Kam Nahi. The festival's closing ceremony will be held in Guwahati on 4th May 2022. Kerala state government has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with Netherlands for the Cosmos Malabaricus project. The project will also help in understanding Kerala's political, social, economic and cultural history. Cosmos Malabaricus project is being jointly implemented by the Kerala Council for Historical Research and Leiden University, Netherlands. E-Proposal System, a flagship initiative of the Planning Department of Meghalaya, has won the prestigious UN Award World Summit on the Information Society Forum Prizes 2022. The E-Proposal System initiative is part of the Meghalaya Enterprise Architecture or Make-EA project, and it was launched by the Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma in 2019. According to the recent data released by the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy, the labour force participation in India has declined to 40% from 47% in 2016. India's labour force has reduced from 445 million to 435 million in 6 years. Labour force participation rate is the percentage of the population that is either working or searching for work. India participated in the Paris Book Festival held in Paris, France as guest of honor country. Around 1,000 writers and 400 publishers from different countries participated in this 3-day festival. Earlier, India had participated in the Paris Book Festival in 2007. France will also participate in the New Delhi World Book Fair to be held in May 2022 as the guest of honor country. India's first portable solar rooftop system was inaugurated in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. This portable solar system is highly cost-effective and it requires little maintenance and it can be installed by a single person. The German development agency Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit, that is GIZ, was also contributed in developing this system. Microblogging site Twitter has decided that it will no longer allow ads on its platform to advertisers who contradict the scientific consensus on climate change. Google had also taken a similar decision earlier. According to Twitter, climate denialism should not be monetized on its network. Indian Coast Guard has inducted a new vessel Urja Pravaha in its fleet. The ship has been commissioned at Bharuch, Gujarat. The ship will aid in providing logistics support to the Coast Guard and enhancing the operational capability of the Coast Guard. India has suspended tourist visas issued to Chinese nationals. This information has been shared by the International Air Transport Association. The government has taken this step due to the restrictions imposed by China on Indian students. These students had to leave their studies in China and come to India in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic.